What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. I've spoken to great extent this week over live stream about journalists that I know that I've met in Canada that have brought to my attention multiple channels that are in the business for the wrong reasons, that have performed questionable acts, that have criminal pasts, that essentially are manipulating YouTube audiences. They want to make sure that people are in this business for the right reasons. Today's video shows exactly why this group is looking out for those things through access to information, through social media posts, through their discords, through screen grabs. It's also in the United States to question, why are people in the business? Now, we're going to talk today about Ben Shapiro, obviously, if you saw the thumbnail and the title. There's a reason we're bringing this up. And yes, the Daily Wire is a business. We know that this is a business. It's a very wealthy business. I have followed the Daily Wire for quite some time. Again, friends with Dr. Jordan Peterson. I've liked the content that the Daily Wire puts out. I enjoyed Lady Ballers when they put that movie out. Matt Walsh's documentary / movies have been good. But Ben Shapiro sinks to a new low. I want to talk about that today. I'm going to share with you a video from Mark Dice. Now, Mark has done an amazing job with this video. I'm going to have a link down below to the full video. Please go and watch it. But essentially, Ben Shapiro coming out here with, if you remember, George Floyd and the officers who were put in jail, Ben Shapiro is calling for Donald Trump to pardon Derek Chauvin. Now, people will say, well, what's wrong with that? I'll tell you what's wrong with that. President Trump cannot pardon Derek Chauvin. The reason he can't is because these are state charges, not federal charges. President Trump can only pardon federal charges. Now, the thing to notice about Ben Shapiro is that he is a Harvard-educated lawyer. Before he became a journalist, before he came to the Daily Wire. So he knows President Trump cannot file a pardon. So many people would be saying, well, why is he doing this then? I'm going to get into it. We're going to show a clip here from Mark Dice and go into it a little bit further as to what is going on here with this grift that Ben Shapiro has begun.
With an accompanying website, pardonderek.com, which we'll look at closely in a moment.
President Trump should, in fact, pardon Derek Chauvin. As I say, we will be covering this pretty extensively in the coming weeks. Right now, you should go to pardonderek.com and sign our petition asking President Trump to grant justice to Officer Derek Chauvin. That is pardon, P-A-R-D-O-N, Derek.com, P-A-R-D-O-N-D-E-R-E-K.com.
Ben Shapiro is a Harvard-educated lawyer, and he, of all people, knows that President Trump can't get Derek Chauvin out of prison because he was convicted on state murder charges.
There you go. So Mark Dice essentially repeating what I just said. Trump can't pardon him. So why would Ben Shapiro, a Harvard-educated lawyer, very good lawyer. Again, if you've ever watched Ben Shapiro's debates with college students, he's able to pull up facts from certain cases, certain dates, articles, trials, when questioned about certain facts, when it comes to the transgender community, when it comes to a number of viral speeches that he's performed. So he definitely isn't missing the mark on this or made a mistake or a boo-boo. Let's go over and take a look at what this pardonderekchauvin.com is. Of course, when you look at the list, sign the petition. Now, I know for a fact petitions never really hold a lot of water. They don't really do a lot. But for the Daily Wire, this is going to do very much for them. It's going to do a lot. Of course, you enter your first, last name, and an email. And before you can sign the petition, you must click this little box that says, accept the terms and conditions. Now, if you go down here below, sign the petition and look at the fine print, by clicking here, you consent to receive emails featuring news and special offers from Daily Wire and our sponsors. Of course, you see the full letter here stating why they want to supposedly pardon Derek Chauvin. So they're using this as a prop to fill their email lists so that they can send you ads for Dollar Shave Club, their chocolate bars, whatever they're selling, whatever they're hawking that month, whatever sponsors they have. If you don't know how YouTube works, essentially the Daily Wire could go and say, we have an email list of 3 million people. So you're going to pay us more money to feature your products because we're going to send your product out on blast through all these emails, through all these chain letters, to get our viewers interested in your product, as well as feature them in our videos and our segments. So Ben Shapiro has generated this fake petition, which he knows cannot go any further than this website. Nothing can come of it. He's using Derek Chauvin as a prop to essentially make the Daily Wire a bunch of money. Now, what's really funny about this, what's really hilarious, is you have to look at Shapiro. Now, his contacts and connections, when Trump did his address to Congress last week, well, Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh and others were sitting in the audience, in the gallery. They were invited by the Republicans. Ben Shapiro has an extensive connection list when it comes to politicians. He merely has to pick up the phone. He could get an audience with a state senator, with Donald Trump, with whoever he needs to, if he was really serious about this petition going through. Again, I'm not going to play the entire video here because Mark did a great job of explaining it, of laying it out. I want to highlight one thing he pulls up here, because this just backs up everything we're saying. This is the icing on top, if you want to put it that way. Take a listen to what he shows here.
At the time, Little Ben threw Derek Chauvin under the bus, posting on Twitter that he just returned from a 2-day Jewish holiday and half the country is on fire. We all agree, he says, on George Floyd, which is why a bad cop is now under arrest. He went on to say that the government has one primary function: to prevent the violation of rights to life and liberty. A police officer destroyed George Floyd's rights. He did at least condemn the rioting and the looting, saying, "You're not stealing that TV to honor George Floyd or protest police brutality. You're stealing that TV because you're a POS."
So I want to highlight those tweets. This is back from May of 2020. Government has one primary function: to prevent the violation of rights of life and liberty. Police officer destroyed George Floyd's rights. That is no excuse for our government abandoning citizens' rights to life and liberty in favor of rioters and looters. Do your jobs. I returned from a 2-day Jewish holiday and half the country's on fire. We all agree on George Floyd, which is why a bad cop is now under arrest. Anyone who defends looting and rioting and targeting of business owners and cops on the basis is nothing short of evil. But here he is saying, hey, let's pardon the guy now, a couple of years later, right? This is the problem with what happens with independent media. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to showcase this, because when we talked about it on Tuesday's surprise live stream, late night live, I pointed out how there were those watchdogs that are journalists in Canada that have reached out to me, that have said, hey, Fringe, your channel's under attack by not necessarily the channels, but their community members. They don't like you bringing up things that other channels are talking about. They don't like you pointing out the mistakes other channels have made. They don't like the information you're pushing on your platform. Here's some screenshots of them downvoting your videos. Here's screenshots of them, or audio, sorry, not just screenshots, but audio of them talking about going out of their way to troll live streams, to unsub to the channel, to hurt Social Blade performances, to I have over 24 emails of people sending them, which I showed on those streams, to people in Parliament saying, don't ever talk to this guy again. He's crazy. Don't give him your time of day. You should go talk to other YouTubers. And then listing said channels. You never know why somebody's in the business. Yes, again, I'll acknowledge the Daily Wire is a very large organization. They employ a lot of people. They got to make money. This is a grift. It's nothing more than a grift. It's a scumbag way of convincing the public who support Derek Chauvin that they may have a hope, that they may stand a chance of having a pardon put forward to remove him from jail, on his current, I believe it's a 23-year sentence that he's serving, all in the name of selling chocolate bars, razor blades, Dollar Shave, whatever they're hosting that month. I think it's low. I think it's a real low for a big outlet like the Daily Wire. Again, I like the Daily Wire. I'm friends. I consider Dr. Jordan Peterson a friend. We speak every time he comes to town. And I know he works alongside the Daily Wire, but this, and I'm not trying to taint Dr. Peterson by any means, because he's not in charge of their advertising or their sponsorships. But for Ben Shapiro to do this is just beyond low. And again, it paints a picture as to what are these people really in the business for? Is it to give you news, or is it to manipulate to make money? Let me know what you think down below. Do you think that there's nothing wrong with what Ben Shapiro did, or do you not agree with what Ben Shapiro did? Let me know your thoughts down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you're hitting that button, click the bell for notification. Leave a comment and a thumbs up. It helps push us out in that good old algorithm. Join me live here on the channel Friday night and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show, where I sit down with my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe, as we go over everything that's happened this week in politics, everything coming up in the week ahead, as well as some back and forth within the greatest YouTube community on the platform. I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say in those live streams, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say this Friday, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, here on the channel. Again, folks, go and watch Mark Dice's video. It's just below the title of this video in the description. Click the link, go check it out. Mark does a great job of pointing out everything I missed in this video, because again, I don't want to take from him. He did a great job. He deserves the views. Go check out what Mark has to say. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.